Welcome everybody to another Autodesk Inventor tutorial. My name is Mr. Galindo. Today we're going to be looking at the pattern tools. The pattern tools are really powerful tools within Autodesk and other sketch-based programs that enable you to very quickly extrapolate small bits of sketch and geometry into larger sketches. It's really helpful if you're going to do something repetitious, for example. So if you are in sketch mode, as I am here, you can see that there is the pattern panel on the ribbon, and there are rectangular, circular and mirror options, and if you hover over them it will explain the tools. I've just switched now to the 3D model tab, and you can see exactly the same three tools are present, which means we can apply these features not only to sketches but also to features that are already physical in 3D. I just want to exemplify this quickly with the mirror tool. If I select the mirror tool, it asks me for the geometry, which I'm going to select this circle here, and then the mirror line that I'd like to pattern this across, like the mirror. So if this is the mirror line and I click apply, I get a second circle automatically created for me on the opposite side. Say I want to get these across the lower construction line, I'm going to do the exact same thing, apply, and now I have 4 circles. It's a lot faster and more effective to do this than it is to actually click all 4 circles and organize them the same way. If I were to be in a sketch like this one here, and I wanted to replicate this small pocket all the way along my playing board here, I could select the rectangular tool and selecting the geometry like so, and this one you have to actually go around and select it all, which is a little bit fiddly, or drag a box. I could then use the direction 1 option to specify the number of iterations it would have in one direction. I can flip it with this tool. I only want it to be separated by 7.5 millimeters. And if I said 10 iterations, you can see here faintly how it has replicated that rectangle 10 times. This is exactly the same when you're doing the circular option. So if I was to just create a sketch, or go back to editing this one, I'm going to create a small triangle that starts at this point here, goes out to about here, goes across and down, very quickly using some dimension tools to specify the size. So in this case I want it to be 30 degrees. I then want to use the circular pattern tool to select the geometry here, the triangle, the axes, which would be this point here, and depending on the number I put here or how far around I want it to go, for example only 180 degrees, I can specify the number of spokes. I'm going to select 360 here, and 10, and you can see here they're all quite nicely equidistant around my wheel. For example, this would be perfect if you were then going to use an extrude and cut through, and you'd have a wheel that would effectively be spoked. Just quickly, I want to show this working in actual 3D mode. So if I have finished this sketch, gone to the extrude option and just extruded this down ever so slightly, I want it to go down, so I'm going to go cut, and only a distance of 0.5 millimeters, so it's just a small little embellishment. I'm going to select OK. I'd now go rectangular pattern, and if I select this option here as features rather than whole bodies, I can select that extrusion, then select this line angle here, reversing it. I'm going to set it to 13 at 7.5, and then the second direction I'm going to use this line here. I'm going to do the same numbers. Now if you create many patterns and occurrences, it optimizes so it only shows you the corners, so you can gauge where it will go to, but it doesn't show you all of them in the middle, which is why you get the feature looking like this. It enables you to see what will happen, but doesn't have to waste too much resources creating more. If I select OK though, it will actually generate that, and you can see now how, rather than doing this in sketch mode and then having to go and individually select each of those little squares to extrude down, I can extrude it once and do it as a feature, which is where you need to make that decision, either you're going to use the pattern tools in sketch or feature mode. Thank you for listening. That was an Autodesk Inventor tutorial.